Hey, I love being live, honey.
Yes. Hey,
Hey.
everybody. Dion is here from Santa Tao Fit Club, and I am joined today by by nutrition specialist Adrian Gordon and certified personal trainer. We are here today to talk about how to stop being a junk food junkie. But before we get into this, I want Adrian to introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. I am Adrienne Gordon. I am a certified personal trainer and nutrition specialist. I have a background in counseling. I am a special educator, and I love, 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 love eating right and helping people. And so I'm pumped. Thank you, Deotta, for inviting me all the time. I love this thing, and I got my coffee, so I'm ready to go.
Oh, you
Okay, let's go.
right. So this has been a theme in our online fitness group for a while. People
Hmm.
have come in and just don't know where to start with what to
Hmm.
eat, on how to get to, good nutrition, but they also have developed some habits of eating
Right.
certain junk foods that they are now craving and are having withdrawal symptoms,
Hmm.
trying to stop eating them, and or if they do try to go cold turkey, it's just constantly on their mind.
Right.
So we want people to do it the smart way, the right way, so that they can see more permanent results. So I have a set of questions here that I'm going to ask that some people already asked in advance. And
Okay.
while we're here, and this is for the watchers, people that are viewing, you might see me look off to the side. That's because I'm also advancing to see if there are other questions popping up. So make sure throughout this entire broadcast that you ask questions. I enable Q&A, so you should be able to ask any
Mhm.
questions that you have. I will do my best to make sure they get addressed within this next hour. Okay.
All
With all
right.
that said, let's get started with this first question. So
Okay.
let's get down to basics. What is considered junk food?
Okay, so did you say what is considered junk food?
Yes.
Okay, so honestly, if you really want to get into what's junk food, think about everything that is not uh, made holistically. Okay, when we're talking about what is not junk food,
Mm-hmm.
remember we talked about the back to basics. We're talking about
Yeah.
fruits, vegetables, and things that are on the food pyramid. Those, my friends, are not junk food. Anything outside of that, being processed things that are not naturally made,
Mm-hmm.
can contribute to being junk food. Because what you have to understand is that the body is looking at a reward system. Reward systems mean chemical, if you will. So you have to think about that. So I could be addicted to coffee. I could, even though it's from a coffee bean, it has a chemical in it, so it's processed. Yes.
Yes.
Then naturally, caffeine is it has some addictive factors. So anything that's just not naturally made can
Mm-hmm.
also be considered to be a junk food if you really look at it.
Okay, so processed foods, things that are made in a factory versus on a farm, that kind of thought
Something
process.
like that, yeah. So let's take your craving, your love, ice cream. Okay, we know Miss Deotta loves ice cream, so she has to stay away from that. Yes, she does. So
Yes.
even though we have some natural products go into that, there's sugar that goes into that. And most of your processed foods have what, ladies and gentlemen? Sugar. And I do mean not the natural sugar, but the refined sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar is an addictive factor. It's an addictive, product. So processed food carry sugar. So when you're thinking about what is happening to your cravings or what is happening with addictions, then you have to think about what does it have in it. So if it's processed, 9 times out of 10, it's a possibility that it can have some addictive factors.
Okay. So that kind of goes into my next question, like why do
Okay.
people crave junk food?
Because they crave it because it's a reward system of the brain. If you ever think about psychological theories and things like that, so if I keep coming to something, if I keep and I get a rush from it, then I
Mm-hmm.
keep doing that thing. So the brain conditions itself to look for that reward system, and the same holds through for substance abuse. When you're looking at alcoholism and you're looking at cocaine usage, sugar and food addiction is the same factor. It's looking for that rush, that reward system. And when you think about doing something over and over again, if I eat that sugar inside or that Snicker, then I'm gonna get something from that. I'm gonna get like, ooh, that tastes good, or oh my God, that was so then I'm gonna keep doing it over and over again. And that's actually what they call a release of dopamine. And that's a chemical in your brain that says, oh, that's good,
Yeah.
and so then you keep doing it over and over again because you like that thing. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So whereas you have a healthy sugar like an apple that may release a little bit of that dopamine, that doggone Ben and Jerry's gonna do you in. You understand? Because that gives you that, oh my, oh, that's real good. So that's a massive amount of dopamine. So food addiction and junk food parallels with substance abuse in the same exact factor, the reward system that you're seeking to get this rush or you that satisfaction. And that's where the junk food comes in. That's where the cravings comes in. So you really have to be careful about it. I mean, everybody thinks, oh, it's about willpower and you can just, oh, I can just get rid of this. No, ma'am. Overeating, uh, food addictions, and especially with junk food, can turn into a serious substance abuse issue when we talk about overeating, because then that turns into binge eating. You see what I'm saying? So you say, I'm just gonna eat 4 scoops of this Ben and Jerry's, or I'm just gonna eat one of these Snickers, or this little bitty mini Snickers. You know how to sometimes you convince yourself in the brain. Remember the reward. I'm just gonna get this little bag of Snickers, the little mini ones. But then I
Yep.
sit there and I'm gonna eat just one, and then you had a bag. Then you like, no, just 2 more. Then you start really talking to yourself and saying, okay, these little 4 gonna make one Snicker bar. So you really measuring. You think you measuring stuff out. Before you know it, guess what? You ate the whole
Yeah.
bag.
Yep.
You really did. So
Yeah,
sugar
and then the
is
regret sets in.
addiction.
And then the reward.
Sugar is addiction. Exactly. It's a processed food. It's designed as a reward system in our brain that satisfies, say, yes, I like this. So you keep doing it.
Okay. So what about junk food that are high in fat and salt? Do they have the same
So
effect?
it has the same thing. Some people don't like sugar, but guess what? In you talking about process, some people like salty things. That's sodium. Your body may craves the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Some people, they the sweet and salty. Let's go back to our bag of Snickers, shall we? So I got a bag of potato chips and I got this bag over here of these Snickers, and I'm putting it together. So I got this fat going on right here, and this sugar, this sodium. Okay, because some people get addicted to that. It's still junk food and it's still processed. Yes, and so then I
Yeah.
had this sugar over here, and I'm putting it all together. All right.
Hmm.
And so if you flip that bag over, you got 400 and some odd grams of sodium, plus you have the sugar that's still in the potato chip. Hello.
Right.
And then you
Yeah.
have your fat over here, and it's fat over here too, which is Snicker bars. So you just crowding that fat in there, and that's not good fat.
Right.
Okay, there is a such thing as good fat and bad fat. So you just putting all this fat in your body that's really not good, plus the sugar, plus the
Right.
salt. But your
Right.
body, your mind, that dopamine is like on 10 saying, yes, give me that, give me that, give me that,
Mhm.
because it's a reward. It's a reward.
So let me
It
ask this,
really
and
is.
this might be, a little scandalous, but I am not to be a conspiracy theorist, but I'm thinking that the companies and the large manufacturers who make this stuff, they know this.
Hmm. Yes, they do know it. But once
So
again,
in
just
a way, they're like the pusher.
there you go. Come on now. So think about it like this. I'm a drug.
Hey, let's All right. Hi guys. I don't know what happened. I think I lost Adrian, but we will make sure that she is back and will return to us and help us with this information. I hope you're finding it very, very helpful and useful. If you have any questions, drop a question, and we will try to get that addressed during this hour. So, hey, girl.
Hey, I think it came
Hey.
back.
Yeah, I don't know. Yep.
Did it
Yep,
come
we're
back?
back. Yes. We
Okay,
are
we're
back.
back.
Yeah, I can't see you yet, but I just see your icon, but that's okay. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened. But where I was going with it is the manufacturers know, and they create this knowing that all these combinations can get people kind of hooked. So therefore, if they are creating this and pushing it, I mean, they pretty much are like pushers. They're no better. It's just legal substances.
Right. Right. So think of addiction in that same form of fashion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have the fighting temptations in the same way they push drugs. They introduced drugs years ago, right? Especially doctors with synthetic drugs, right? So it's the same combination. So if I introduce this sweet thing that's synthetic, that's part whole, part, manufactured, and then I present this to, the community, the consumers, then all I need is one buyer, and then that person will tell everybody, and they deliberately put that within the certain communities. Hello. So
Right.
I'm just going to be real with you. There are certain communities, if you begin to look around people, there are certain communities that don't have grocery stores, that the only thing that they have are, mom and pops, convenience stores, and it's full of junk. So
Right.
yes, to answer your question, we already know that, and that's where your money goes. You will go into the store and deliberately buy a bag of Doritos before you go over and buy a bag of apples?
Right.
You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
So it's priced right too.
Oh, exactly. So I'm gonna buy, if you look at everything, that's why we had a Dollar Tree. I love Dollar Tree, but they have like dollar bag of candy if you really want, especially for Easter. So
Yeah.
then we're looking at, I'd rather buy that dollar bag of something because it is more cost effective for me than to spend a little bit extra that can preserve my life.
Right. Right. Right.
So
So that,
it's the same theory. And sugar
and
is an
also to your
addictive factor.
and also to your point, those the bag of apples may not give you the same level of elation and satisfaction, I guess,
It's not.
than. Mhm, mhm.
No, it's not. It definitely is not going to do that. Nope. Yep.
So, so let's talk about some of the effects of too
Mm-hmm.
much junk food. Let's list some of those.
So some
And when you get a
effects. I can't. What you say?
chance, I'm sorry, when you get a chance, we just see your icon. So if you can show your video where it shows you, I'm not
Okay,
sure if
me.
something.
Can you see me? Do you
No,
see
not
me?
yet. No, not yet. But we'll keep working on it
Okay.
and we'll get that figured out. But some of the effects.
So just like substance abuse, we get the same type of psychological and physiological and some and effects. So if I withdraw from coffee, which it has sugar in it, of course most people put it sugar. I'm gonna get irritable. I'm going to get headaches. I'm going to get jittery and things like that. The same holds true with sugar. If you're constantly eating those things, and gluten has, is part sugar, of course, we already know that. So then I'm going to get those same effects. I'm going to get jittery. I'm going to gain weight. I'm going to get headaches. I'm going to get irritable. They say, oh, my sugar low. No, your sugar is low, but I mean, you looking for your Snicker bar right now. You seen the Snicker bar commercial? I'm sorry, I'm just on Snickers, but the Snicker bar commercial when they have the actors that's old and they mad and they fighting, and once they get the Snicker bar, they turn back to themselves. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. And then bear in mind, you don't even know when these cravings are going to take place. Like you could be sitting and watching Scandal, and you be like, "Ooh, I gotta pop my popcorn. I gotta go get my ice cream. I gotta go get this pizza, and I gotta make sure I watch." So you associate your TV shows with your
Right.
food. So you're aligning everything. Just like you go to the movies, they already know. So watch it, Diata. They already know you need your popcorn, you need your candy, you need your soda, your nachos, you need your
Yeah.
uh, hot dogs, pizza, sometimes hamburgers. And nowadays, they know you need your cocktail.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of it
Yeah.
is lined up with
Yeah.
sugar, and
Yeah.
it's no
I'm
good
headed
for
to the
you.
movie. Exactly.
Okay?
I'm like, I'm
I'm just saying.
ready after this. Yep. Yeah. So it's set up, and so as long as you know you're being set up, just make sure you are equipped and informed
Right.
to recognize whether you do it or not. Just be informed, and that's really all I care about. I want people to make informed decisions about themselves and their health.
You do.
So mhm, yeah. So how does one wean themselves off of junk food when this dopamine chemical thing is so strong, just be calling you?
So, everybody, can you see me now?
Now we
Woo!
can, yes.
So, everybody is not able to have the strength that you may have to wean yourself off, right? So, willpower
Mm-hmm.
does not necessarily work. So, take me for instance. If I say I made a decision 20 years ago to stop drinking soda, I just stopped
Mm-hmm.
drinking soda because I felt like I didn't need it, or I just stopped eating candy bars because it wasn't good for me. So
Right.
basically, for an average person, uh for every two Snickers, you substitute something nutritious, whether that be raw veggies, a piece of fruit. You substitute that for the other sweet that's no good, and you slowly take that away. The other thing that I would encourage people to do is, most people say, "Oh, just clear out the pantry." That is not realistic behavior, because you just the same thing with substance abuse. I may clear out all the alcohol. I may say I'm not going down the street to get that hit. You are a lie. You are a lie. You are a lie. So what you're gonna do is, let's just be honest. If you know you got a
Mm-hmm.
problem, you just, okay, like those bag of Snickers, keep 10 of them in the house. I still do that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like Snickers, but I still keep something, sweet in the house. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get that little urge, that's okay. It's okay because it takes time. This is not
Right.
a overnight situation. Nothing is. However,
Agree.
when those cravings are continuous, and
Mm-hmm.
you cannot substitute out a fruit or a vegetable or a salad, or another proteins are very good substitutes for sweets, because then it makes you full and it
Mm.
alleviates that craving. So you want things that
Okay.
alleviates proteins, definitely alleviate cravings. Veggies really alleviate cravings. So, and water. So those three things alone can alleviate a lot of those cravings if you are in the mindset that you want to
Mm-hmm.
change. However, like I said, those individuals that aren't able to do that, and they find themselves in a confused emotional state, then we
Mm-hmm.
need to look at, it's something deeper. It's something deeper that you do have to take pause, and willpower is not going to get that, because then you
Right.
have to say, I may need some help, and that's okay. Everybody
Yeah.
can't do this by themselves.
Agreed. Agreed. And that's the reason why I formed the group, because it's great to it's great when you can do it by yourself and you don't need anyone else. But most of us aren't really made or built that way, right? And I
Right.
wanted to make sure that people knew, one, you're not going through this alone. Your struggles has been everybody else's struggles. I don't care if we're a size
Right.
4 now, or we're
Mhm.
still a size 24. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We all what Imani sometimes say to us, that everybody has something. Everybody has their own burden to bear.
Mhm.
We all dealing with something.
We are.
Okay.
We
And
are.
when it comes to this fitness thing, we all are. I've revealed,
Hmm.
yeah, I can't have ice cream in the house. I'll eat the entire thing. I don't have any control around it. I don't.
Hmm.
But I
Hmm.
know that about myself. I've been that way since I was a kid. You know, I may not have had to lose 50 pounds or even 100 pounds, but trying to lose 10 and realizing that the little games I used to play, You know, the shortcuts I thought I could do weren't working anymore.
Right,
And
right,
why not?
right.
And now I'm panicking and all the things, it's a mind thing and it's a process thing as well. And I didn't want to do it alone. Found similar women, formed a group, and now, hopefully people feel like they have a support system. And when they
Right,
do
right.
fall off or about to fall off or whatever, they come in and can read some posts, can post and get some, positive feedback themselves and, course correct and get back on track. And this junk food thing, trust me when I say, and I said it earlier, it's a game to the manufacturers. I mean, their goal, the companies, big brand companies, their goal is to make money. And their goal is to keep those shareholders happy. And their goal is to figure out how to get you coming back for more and more and more. So they're going to price it right. They're going to make it taste just right. They spend millions of dollars to not only promote and advertise this stuff to you and kind of try to use words, make you kind of think that it's healthy, like all natural, naturally gluten-free. Well, yeah, peanuts are naturally gluten-free. So, I mean, you're not saying nothing.
No additives or preservatives.
But you done added all that extra. Yeah, that's gluten-free too. You're right. But, I mean, stop playing.
Right, exactly. They're going to add something else to it.
Absolutely. If they take something out, they're going to add something back. That's why I don't really mess with low fat, low cal. I don't really mess with that stuff. Right. Because I'm like, I don't know what you did with it. It's frankenfood now. I really don't know what you did with it.
Right. And so with that being said, I think the good part about it is, my nutritionist back in the day once said, if you're gonna go on and eat it, don't eat anything low fat or reduced fat. Just eat the modified version of whatever it is you're gonna eat. If you're gonna have some butter, eat the modified version of butter you're gonna eat. Not, margarine or something, some type of substitute. Just eat what you're gonna eat, but eat it in moderation. It's best to eat a whole food than some type of additional processed foods.
Right.
And, like I said, when you think about food addiction and you keep repeating that same cycle and you cannot stop eating, that's a problem. So if you're in a group like this that somebody is motivating you and you're trying but you keep falling back in that hole, you keep falling back in the hole, like it's something is happening, you need to seek professional assistance because the group cannot do that. That means that there's something deeper that's hindering you from that, success that you truly, truly want. But once again, that's something that, you have to be intentional about and know that about yourself, and we just have to be, mindful. This is a walk, a everyday walk. I see on the post that people want instant things to happen, but when you're dealing with junk food, that is not instant.
Yeah.
If you out here eating, chicken subs and stuff like that, that's packed full of sugar and salt, enriched products, you are not going to get where you need to be. If you are a drinker and you constantly out at the happy hour consuming all of these calories with sugar, with gluten and everything in it, then it is not going to come off of you. You have got to make informed decisions about what your choices are going to be. And that's just the bottom line. There is no quick fix to this. I don't care what people say. And if you say you did a quick fix and you kept the weight off, it still may not be a quick fix for someone. The other person may not be able to keep that off like you did. Just not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's roll into some questions because people have questions in, and these are very, very good ones. So this one is from Dion. I have sugar cravings at the end of my work day. I have a bad commute and I look forward to my candy in the car. I'm addicted.
Yes, you are. And you've conditioned yourself to say, I need this candy in my car because you are stressed eating. And that alleviates, number one, you from being stressed because you're looking for your reward. When you jump in the car, you be like, ooh, I got my candy, I got my Kit Kats, I got my Jolly Ranchers, So once again, that's your reward system. But stress causes eating. Okay. And that sugar, tells your brain that you're happy now. Then a commute, you got to think about your commute. A commute in and of itself is stressful. I used to do an hour commute and it would tear me up. So I definitely understand that. But once again, that's a sugar addiction. And
Mhm.
so I would say in place of your candy in your car,
Mhm.
I'm not going to say all you get to have is fruit, but you may want, some type of granola bar instead of that. You do may want to keep in your bag at work some fruit that you just take your bag and bring that with you.
Right.
Uh, if you're just really struggling, some flavored gum that you can smack
Mhm.
on the way, while you by yourself, and then drink water. Drink your water. Diata has these wonderful infused water bottles that you can purchase for low cost. So you
Mhm.
can get your infused water. And the other thing that helps alleviate stress is mood music. Classical music helps alleviate stress. Turning the radio all the way off and just spending time with yourself helps
Mhm.
alleviate that. So you really have to have some mind, body, and spirit when we're talking about how to combat, junk food addictions, and things like that. So those are some things that you can do right off the rip to uh, combat eating junk food
Right.
on your way home.
Okay. Thank you for that. So,
hmm
next question is from Natalie. What are the best good snack foods to curb the cravings?
Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to tell you, especially if you're struggling with this thing. I'm just going to say for every piece of junk food that you eat, you're gonna have to wean yourself for one. So is one for one. If you're gonna eat a piece of candy, you need to eat some fruit. Some veggies, because remember, sugar still is in fruit. I recommend making you like a raw veggie medley that you can have with you. Uh, Berries, apples, oranges, bananas, um, a plant-based
Mhm.
protein shake. I really like those. Almonds. Keep almonds will keep in your car. Uh, Walnuts will keep in your car.
Mhm.
Pistachios, even though they have a lot of salt, you can get them without salt. You can keep in your car. So nuts are really good, but don't eat all the nuts. Just a handful.
Mhm.
Of course, when you're craving things, drink water.
Yep.
Make sure that you're having a balanced diet as well. We talked about that before,
Mhm.
but having a balanced diet also combats those cravings. And with that mindset of being stressed out, you automatically look for something comfortable. So you have to really sit down and say, when I get stressed, what do I do? So then there's some homework there to determine those things that cause you to eat out of order or eat in a fashion that you wouldn't normally eat. And so you have to try to be intentional about avoiding those situations that causes stress. But those are some things that you can eat, outside of those. The other thing is there's certain type of corn tortilla chips you might want, but you can only have about 10 of those, not the whole bag.
Okay.
Don't eat Doritos. I know people love Doritos, but don't eat the Doritos. I just shy away from 0 calorie sodas and sugary drinks and stuff like that. That's no good. So try to eat, as much raw vegetables and fruits as you can possibly eat. Nuts, berries. Those are all good things that alleviate that craving that you could use instead of sugar.
Okay. All right. So there you go, Natalie.
We
So
did that.
yeah. So from Danielle, how does one stop late night cravings?
Go to bed.
That,
I'm sorry.
I say that all the time in the forum. Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. But everybody cannot go to sleep because you
They
may
don't have
not
a
have that
nighttime
type
job.
of job.
Yeah.
So if you if you can't if you have to stay up or whatever, once again I say the same thing that I said before. Grapefruit, like a half a grapefruit, is a good snack if you're up and can't go to sleep. Berries are low in sugar. That's a great snack if you cannot sleep. Um, drinking, like I said, drinking your water. I have those times when I'm up working and I cannot sleep. I have a 52-ounce jug of water next to my bed. And
Mhm.
so I would just guzzle that and then I will turn out the light and go to sleep. The other thing that I also want to say is when you're up at night, especially if you're not working, and so
Mhm.
even if you, let me back up. So if you work at night, then you still should have all of your balanced meals based upon what that schedule is, because your body adapts to whatever that schedule is going to be, right? Except
Right.
late at night, remember we talked about how your body metabolizes differently. So you really, even if you're a worker at nighttime, you have to keep your meals very, very low in fat, low in sugar, low in salt, all those things almost to down to the wire because it is late night.
Mhm.
But think about your room setup. Most times I used to didn't have a room, TV in my room
Mhm.
because it would keep me up at night.
Mhm.
Turn your phone off if you can. Think
Right.
about your feng shui in your room. Okay, you might want to paint a different color. You may want some greenery in your room. You may want uh, some of those wave sounds in your room.
Right.
I like my room to smell really good. So,
Okay.
natural infused like lavender on your sheets or,
Mhm.
some type of essential oil, it,
Yep.
by your bed also helps with your sleep pattern. So if it's a factor, I try to stay away from sleep aids and things like that. So with the cravings, go to sleep, assess your
Mhm.
room situation. These are some things you can eat just in case you're really, really struggling. Drink water, water,
Mhm.
water. That will automatically fill you up. Now you're gonna be mad because you're gonna be like, I really want to eat something, but you will be
Right.
full and you just have to tell yourself to go to sleep.
Right. What about warm milk?
I don't
That
do
work?
milk. I don't I
Okay.
don't I don't do milk. I don't do cow milk because we are the only only humans on this earth that consumes another animal's milk like that. So
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't
Okay.
drink warm milk.
Okay.
You can have some tea.
Nope.
You want some tea?
All right. Okay. Yeah.
You
Some
can
nice
drink some
tea.
tea. I
Non-caffeine.
like, I see all of your fans drinking the ACV and all like that. Now,
Yep.
I do make a type of tea with a cap full of ACV,
Mhm.
with cayenne pepper, uh, a tablespoon of honey, and some lemon. So I do that with some filtered water. Hey, it happens. Yeah, so I drink that type of tea, and that
Okay.
helps me sleep. The other thing I drink is this called a kava tea, Kava. It's a stress
Oh.
tea, is natural kava, and so I don't put any sugar in it. I may put a dab of lemon in it, but it helps, beat that craving. I drink that with water, and I'll go right to sleep.
Oh, that sounds awesome. So we have one more question actually, and
Okay.
I'm being summoned. Good lord! But this, I hope everyone has found this information extremely helpful. You will be able to watch this in its full entirety again on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Curly DST CURLEEDST. So if you missed something and want to rewind or hear a certain section again, you can definitely catch that. So let's get to this last question by Kiki. It is, what advice do you have for someone with kids who love junk food? I don't want to be the bad mom and just take it all, but I want them to start eating healthier.
So I'm just going to say that the best person that they can learn to do this walk is from you, mom, dad, or whomever. They have to see you doing it in order for them to do. So if you, like I said, I don't keep a lot of junk in my house. So once again, you slowly scale that junk food down and then begin to introduce healthier choices to your children.
Mm-hmm.
Involve them in meal preparation, meal prep. Like when I'm prepping my meals for clients, my children love to help do that. Mom, what do you need me to do? And they say, oh, this is really healthy. Can we try this? Can we eat that? They want to be the taste testers.
Yeah.
So you have to begin to be creative with your children about healthier foods, healthier choices. that they get to have, but they have to see they have to see you doing it.
Mhm.
So start scaling down at the grocery store. If you don't plan your meals or your grocery list, begin to plan your meals. The other thing I do with my kids is I say, hey, mommy's gonna make X, Y, and Z. What would you like on the list? What would you like me to make? And then I will take that thing. So they say hamburgers, so I make turkey burgers. And
Mhm.
we have an opportunity to be in the kitchen working those together. I don't buy fries in a bag. I actually take the potato, like back in the day, take the potato and I actually cut up the potato and wash the potato and put the potato in grease, like we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
So just get them involved and then scale down on what you're doing and begin to be more intentional about what you plan to eat in the house, and involve them in that creation. And that's when they learn healthy habits. They have to see you doing it. Just like I bring my kids to our fitness camp. And now if
Yeah.
I'm tired, they like, are we going? We got to go see Coach Monty because Coach Monty said we got to be there and we got to do this and I got to make sure I'm there. And I'm just like, well, I'm tired right now. But they say, come on, mom, we got to go. And they get their weights and they put them in the car and we out of there.
Yeah.
So when they see me doing it, they hold me accountable. So when you start to do that thing and you go to eating crazy, they going to hold you accountable because I can't have a brownie in the house. Mama, why you drinking? Why you eating that brownie? I'm going to tell Monty on you. I'm like, tell him. I'm just playing. Don't tell him.
Exactly. But I think it's all about teaching healthy habits. They watch everything we do. They'll
Yeah.
learn those habits, so they'll remember. I mean, we still remember what our parents did with us,
Yeah.
right? And then they are your voice of reason when you can't get on your phone or the computer to come see the women in the group, but just your baby is there looking at you like, stop, like for real, you're
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to have that, and they will
Mm-hmm.
keep you accountable,
Oh,
and
yes.
which
Oh,
is what
yes.
we all need.
Yes. Definitely
Yes,
that.
absolutely. So I want to, we're about to wrap this up, but I think that there was a lot of great information here. Some of the quick points that we started off talking about is that junk food is food with all the processed fat, sugar, and salt made in a factory versus grown on a farm. Most of the sugar and salt, all of that is addictive. So
Mm-hmm.
you're not just lack self control. There is a chemical thing happening in your brain with dopamine that is making you crave it and want it.
Mm-hmm.
And the food manufacturers know that, which is why they started adding all kinds of different combinations together to make you crave it, to make you keep buying it so that they can keep making money. But one of the great things that Adrian shared is that you can start weaning yourself off by, saying if I have one piece of this, of my junk food, then I have to have two pieces of something healthy, vegetables or something to that nature, to help, start weaning yourself off. And if you know or really feel that you might be addicted to food and it's beyond just lack of self-control, seek professional help. That is something I definitely encourage. And, because when you can't do it, you need to get that professional assistance to help you get to where you want to go. Because it's not always just a cut and dry. So with all of that said,
Hey, how y'all doing?
people don't care. Thank you, Adrian.
Bye. See you later.
Thank you for talking to us about how to stop being a junk food junkie. I hope you all found it helpful. Again, you can catch the replay on YouTube for youtube.com/CurlyDST. We're about to sign out before somebody else walk up in here.
They're gonna walk in, right? So if you have like any questions or anything, they can also visit my Facebook page at Squirrel Power Nutrition, and I will answer any nutritional questions that they may have. Tell the family I said hey.
I will. All right, everybody. We're about to sign off. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye.
Bye bye.